All right. Can you hear those cracks? I hate this chair so much. The thing broke too because I'm too fat for it, so it just always flies back now. Oh well, anyways, today we're gonna talk about this guitar. And no, I was not able to snag one in the 0.3 seconds that they were out for. I forgot to put my IM in so I can make sure I hear myself. Those things sold out instantly. I don't know why, but I feel like it's proper to hold either a Gibson or an Epiphone, so I'm just gonna hold this while I talk in this. Yeah, maybe we'll do some B-roll, some playing. You know, just like classic YouTuber guitar stuff. If you for some reason haven't heard about this guitar or don't know about it, it was given to them by Norm's Rare Guitars, and I watched the Netflix documentary on Norman's too, and apparently he would give guitars to companies that were making movies and try to get period correct guitars. But one of the biggest things is this is not a period correct guitar. I believe in the film they're in 1955 and this guitar was made in 58. But there's a lot of information going around the internet about this guitar, and some people don't know what's true and what's false. I'll say one of the unique things about this guitar that I personally really like is that it has the solid inlay on the 12th fret on the guitar. I think that's such a cool touch with these. And that's also what I think is cool with it being in the film is like if it isn't period correct, maybe that's like that one model, because we're talking about future and time travel. Nothing's really real there. If he's traveling back to the future, what if that makes that timeline so that guitar came out, or it was a prototype and that inlay made it like a little different, like, oh, that was one of our first ones ever but wasn't released till like 3 years later. I think like a story like that would actually be really cool and unique to the guitar itself. So anyways, they did a limited run of the Back to the Future, Marty McFly, whatever you want to call it, ES 345 guitars. I'll admit, I didn't know the crazy stories and stuff behind the legend of this guitar, but the more it's been going around the internet and the more I've been learning about it, there's like two things. One, I wish I would have bought one because there's a lot more uniqueness that I didn't know about this guitar, and all the hype kind of got to me too. And two, it kind of seems like there's a lot of stories about this guitar, but people just aren't sure of them at the same time. It's very weird, and apparently this guitar's gone missing, or missing. There's a lot of theories about this. But the Epiphone sold for $1,000, and then the Gibson one sold for $20,000. And they sold out. I just can't imagine finding out about this and be like, 20K? Okay, take my money. Like, there had to be some kind of payment plan, right? Like, there's no way. If that is the case, I kind of want to be friends with that guy. But that's not even the weirdest part. What I think is weird is if this guitar is missing, then how do they justify doing exact specs without the original guitar and then selling a custom model from Gibson for $20,000 that's supposed to be the exact model, but we don't know the exact specs? Am I missing something here? Like, to me personally, I just think that sounds crazy. Now, there is the other theory that people think Gibson has the guitar and they just said it went missing. Kind of adds to the whole like story and effect of it all. And plus that would up the value to like their remodel remakes of these guitars. So I could see that. I wouldn't put that past Gibson. That could be something that they would do. But let's take a look at this thing. Yo, just as a side note, how many people do you think accidentally went for the Marty Schwartz guitar when they went for this and saw that it was only $8.99? Oh man, can you imagine thinking you got the right guitar and then it shows up because you just spam ordered it real quick when it first came out? That would be crazy once it shows up to your door. Yes, we know it's sold out. I still want to see the pictures of it. All right, so here's the Epiphone one, which honestly for $9.99, I think it looks beautiful. And if it looks good in the pictures, it almost always will look better in person. But like, it's just cool. They got that Veritone knob and everything on there. I think it's a cool guitar for sure. And honestly, I think that's a pretty decent price for the Epiphone. I thought they really would have just like skyrocketed that guitar. But the specs are like as close as it gets to the Gibson, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know if the original one had this right here, the black around the F holes, but it's kind of a cool touch. At first sight, I'm not a fan of it, but I like uniqueness in things, so it's kind of cool. I don't have an Epiphone, so the Kalamazoo headstock is kind of appealing just to have some variety. But, you know, I think the Inspired by Gibson would have been a better model for this, especially with how crazy they've just taken off. So yeah, I like when they take like detailed pictures like this, because I feel like it's closer to like how it would look like in actual person. But yeah, that's another thing, is the case right there is really unique and cool too. And the fact that it comes with one and all these features for that price is like, that's pretty decent. Could it be lower? Yes, but you know, under $1 under $1,000 is pretty impressive, especially when they do like a signature and they know they can cash out on a lot like $20,000. Speaking of, let's go to the $20,000 one. Okay, it must, because this one either doesn't have anything around the F-holes or is black as well. It looks like it just doesn't have anything. I don't know why the Epiphone even bothered adding the black if it doesn't have anything. Interesting. Looks like you can see more of the wood grain in this one too, which is cool. Oh, I didn't realize too, it looks like it's worn a little bit, a little worn in. It's a nice touch. I wonder if the Bigsby on the Epiphone's an actual Bigsby. That would be interesting to see with the price point. I don't know if they do like Chinese knockoffs for that, but I don't know. Interested to see that. I'm assuming this has the fret nibs on it too. I don't know why it wouldn't. Out the back right here. Yeah, it has, you can see on the headstock right there, it has like the aged worn stuff. That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. So is this Murphy Lab considered then? I know it's made in the custom shop, but I guess not Murphy Lab though. Oh, do you guys want to hear it? I say that as if the person clicking on this hasn't already watched videos on this.
Company where this guitar started, you can
I
get
love
4
some
or
good
5
B-rolls.
different
Hey,
answers,
it's
because a
Marcus.
whole bunch of people have been trying to make this guitar happen for a really long
Do you guys
time.
like that touch on the back of the headstock? I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. God, it is just a classy looking guitar. I'm a sucker for real Mother Pro inlays too. It's actually one of the reasons I like my Les Paul that I have. They're really white ones, and like the look of these ones look really good. Yeah, that gets me, man. With that cool aged headstock, that's pretty sweet. Not $20,000 sweet, but it's pretty sweet. Now, if we go over to Reverb, though, these prices are insane. Look at this, dude. The Epiphone one's already... They tried tripling it right off rip, and I guess it's not working, so they dropped it like $449. Like, that's a deal. One of those guys that's like, oh, I have an idea. It's going to look like I dropped like $500 off, and I'm like giving them a deal now. Somebody's bound to buy that. $69,900. Like, you couldn't just make it like $69, dude. Wink, wink. Or even just bump it up to $770. Like, what are these prices? Why do people come up with stuff like this? Can't imagine how much the original would go up for. This guy's got it right. $71,990. What? Dude, $150,000? These people are out of their mind. Out of their mind. Could you imagine just being a store selling one of these and being like, man, I should have just bought one and resold it myself? This is crazy. I think that top one's the lowest one for what, 24? Yeah, 2,400, 2,450. Sorry. $50. You have to pay shipping too for that? This is a nice looking guitar. $100 in shipping. Yes. Jeez. You think he even played this? You think he even like strummed it once? You know, for $2,450, I think that's kind of a mid picture on that. You know, he couldn't have done any better. Yeah, it's a little better. He's got to work on his angling. The others are just taken off the site. Now, I guess you could say a reason why this guitar is so big and famous and just like very wanted by everyone, even myself included, is because if you grew up with this movie, this for me was a huge movie growing up. I loved watching Back to the Future. I think the whole idea of that, seeing like all the old school stuff and how things used to be in a film like that came out at the time that it did, and then also like their take on the future. Like as a kid, I was born 93. Like I thought that stuff was so neat. It was so cool to me. And like the flying skateboards, that's what's got me. I'll say borderline, that's what got me into skateboarding. You know, I like Rocket Power and stuff like that growing up. So that just had definitely an effect on it, and getting into the whole skating thing, getting into guitar, thinking guitar was cool. I think for a lot of people, that if you were a kid watching that scene, that's where a lot of people thought guitar was super cool. Now, I did see someone put a short out and they got one of these guitars in Nashville. I think his name was like Mike from Nashville. He said that there was going to be more coming out in like December with Guitar Center's drop. Those are just what I heard. Personally, I think it would be a great idea if they came out with an inspired by Gibson series model. I would buy that instantly if I could. And I think those would sell like a lot. I think they need to come out with like either a for sure model of the inspired by Gibson series, or just and keep the other ones a limited run, or just like have a lot more and do a huge run of those. I think they'll sell like hotcakes. Let me know what you guys think about this guitar down below in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Feel free to share it with a friend. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.